In the early morning hours of January 9, 2011, Maria Ververis of Middletown, Connecticut, received a phone call from her son, Michael Ververis. After leaving the Glow Lounge on Worthington Street, he was arrested by the Springfield police after officers pulled him out of his friend's SUV. According to the arrest report, he had been acting disorderly, and when officers approached him, he resisted, made a grab for an officer's firearm, and was subdued as they took him into custody.
Michael's screaming on the phone, "Ma, I did nothing wrong." They kept saying, "They beat me up. Ma, you have to find me video. They beat me up." And I said, "Well, what were you arrested for?" And he said, "I don't know." So he asked whoever was with him, "What are my charges?" So he started reading off his charges, and my son started crying. He heard, larceny of a firearm, disorderly conduct.
Ververis' father and 3 uncles went to Springfield the following Saturday night to pass out flyers, which requested that witnesses contact them with information. Shortly afterwards, 3 videos surfaced. 2 of the videos will be used in court and are readily available for viewing on YouTube or on the Justice for Michael website, which was created by Dan Keefe of Out Now, a social activist group in Springfield. The people filming the videos give commentary, and one woman states that the officers hit the car in which Ververis and his friends were traveling. Also can be seen the moment that Ververis falls to the ground, which he claims was due to a chokehold that left him temporarily unconscious. Further can be seen a woman in the process of making a recording, who was later identified as Raquel Peroza. She is seen speaking with an officer who approached her while filming, and this was the subject of debate at a hearing for a motion to dismiss, which was held in late February. Ververis' attorney, Luke Ryan, filed the motion because the police confiscated Peroza's phone without a warrant and interrupted her while she was filming. She was closer to the arrest than the other videographers, and Ryan believed the video could have created a more panoramic view of the arrest. Once the phone was checked into evidence, the motion notes that the evidence tag on the phone was not attached to the arrest report, and Peroza's name was not obtained. 81 days later, after several attempts to retrieve her phone were unsuccessful, Peroza contacted Sergeant Delaney and arrived at the police station.
I put her name in our IMC computer, and her name didn't appear anywhere on any case or anything like that. I know my phone is there. A police officer took it. So then I said, well, let's walk down to the property room. We went down there. I asked her what the date was. And then he goes, there's nothing with her name on it, but there's a phone here on that date. I said, well, let me see it. Took it out. And she knew. She opened it up right away and pushed numbers in it and said, this is my phone. She had described it. She was happy.
This interaction was brought up in court to determine if the police were responsible for the mishandling of evidence, which deprived Ververis of possible exculpatory materials. During the trial, Delaney testified that returning the phone to Peroza was merely an oversight. The evidence room is also the room where lost property is stored, and he believed the phone had been a lost item. After hearing all evidence and watching the available videos, the judge denied the motion.
The next stage in the case will be a motion that will be filed on behalf of Mr. Ververis pursuant to Massachusetts Rules of Criminal Procedure number 17, and that will be seeking records in the possession of the Springfield Police Department's Internal Affairs Unit with respect to some of the arresting officers.
Several of the officers involved in Ververis' arrest underwent an internal investigation after Ververis filed a complaint, but the details of the investigation were not released. These records and others are the focus of the motion that Ryan intends to file.
All those cases are investigated thoroughly, reported to the police commissioner. There's a citizens review board that goes over it, so the checks and balances are there. And then there's a hearing. Complaints are taken very seriously.
Outside of the court hearings, the Ververis family reached out to social activist groups for support. In December, Out Now and Arise for Social Justice joined together with Ververis to create a campaign.
So we had a meeting with Maria and Nico, Maria's son. Out of that meeting was the beginning of building a campaign for Justice for Michael.
Dan Keefe built a website for the case, and the site calls for people to take action by attending the hearings and writing letters. The members of Out Now and Arise believe that providing support for families involved in ongoing court cases is central to their mission.
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend any family go through this alone without getting the community involved in some way.
They completely understand how something like this can happen, and they give us the support that we need. It's turned his life upside down. He doesn't have the loss of security. He's lost that sense of security, as well as us. I think that's the hardest thing for us to deal with. We're not safe anymore. If you can't trust the police that are there to protect and serve you. I can't deal that they are trying to make my son a criminal, and they're ruining his reputation.
I know from experience. I grew up with him. He's my brother. That's not his personality. It's not in his character to act out in that way. To hear that he went for the gun, and according to the police report, he incited a fight, just doesn't match up to what my brother is.
Police officers have a very huge responsibility, not just in Springfield, but all throughout the United States, that we have a lot of power because we have the power to take away your freedom. And the only way we can do this is based on probable cause. A jury and a judge and lawyers later on will pick apart what we do. And our split-second decision is then gone over by dozens of people in a courtroom setting.
The next date this case will be heard in court is at a pretrial scheduled for May 25th. It will be held at the Hampden County Hall of Justice on 50 State Street in Springfield, Mass. The District Attorney's Office did not return calls for comment. This is Deborah Branchick reporting.